The software engineering profession is changing extremely fast. CLI coding agents are now simply unmissable in my opinion, if you still haven't realized it. In my opinion, the time that you were still coding by hand is simply over, since 2025, at the end of it, when Opus 4.5 and Codex 5.2 were released, these agents, instead there was a step function increase that they suddenly got good at long horizon tasks. Instead of accumulating mistakes, they could actually solve mistakes over longer time horizons, which also caused the use of CLI coding agents to explode. And I think this will simply continue, and if you don't learn how to master these tools, then in my opinion you will become a bit irrelevant as a software engineer, which is of course very unsettling even to me, and I'm constantly even myself figuring out what exactly my role needs to be. But one thing I did know was that my entire setup basically became obsolete. So the thing I was doing still in December 2025 was I had a I quit Cursor already back then, so I was using Visual Studio Code. I had it open in a repo, and then what I would do was I would just launch the like the default macOS terminal, create some kind of split screen like I'm doing right here. Let me go into the directory, and then I would open Claude Code, for example, in this directory, and basically do almost all the coding with Claude Code and use this vscode window to review the code. But it became quickly apparent to me like this is a horrible way to work. A lot of friction. First off, you're basically working on two different levels at the same time. The most important coding work happens on a CLI level, while you then constantly have to switch to a web browser disguised as a code editor to actually review the code. You were doing a lot of CLI commands, because that's also where Claude Code operates. For example, if I wanted to create a new Git work tree, you would have to jump to your CLI, then go back to the UI, Claude would implement something, then you would have to come back to here and start clicking again. Basically, there was a lot of friction. Also, as you know, one of the most important aspects of working with coding agents is being able to easily parallelize a lot of stuff. So what you want to do is you want to work on a lot of features at the same time. So what I would then have to do is first off launch, how do I do it again with the default terminal? You would have to launch a new terminal window, create like a new macOS, I don't know, virtual desktop, put it there, create a new vscode window, put it there, put it once again to the side, open it in a new work tree, launch everything up again, and then when you want to go back to the previous agent because it's done, you have to switch back to it, which causes this animation of 3 seconds, which you, by the way, can't disable in macOS. And when you scale this workflow to maybe like 3 or 4, you will quickly notice that first off, it's very annoying to switch context, and second off, it's eating all your RAM, because these VS Code windows are not resource efficient. These are Chromium based, basically launching a lot of web browsers at the same time. So at least already for parallelization, this method wasn't scaling. Combine that with maybe another web browser open, or I don't know if I've still installed it. So like maybe you also have an Obsidian window to do your documentation in, and it's quickly becoming a huge mess, which becomes very annoying to work in. At the same time, because the AI was writing so much code, I was also thinking like, damn, I really need to learn Vim, because for one, Vim is very efficient at editing text. So I installed the Vim plugin for VS Code, which, because you are in this but in this keyboard focused workflow, you also want to do other things with your keyboard. For example, switching files or navigating your code base, easily replacing stuff, launching your Git work tree. You all want to do that with your keyboard. But one of the things is that with VS Code, it is possible, but it feels like I don't know, I think the best comparison is like, it's like trying to make Assassin's Creed difficult by turning up the difficulty. Like, it is possible, but it's just not built for it. Like, for example, in a game like Dark Souls, difficulty feels a lot more natural, and in VS Code, keyboard key bindings are simply an afterthought, which quickly became apparent because I was using so much. I like to work on a MacBook, so during the Christmas break I was coding a lot on my MacBook, getting a bit used to the key binds, but then I had to switch to my Windows laptop, and if you don't know this, the key binds on VS Code are entirely platform dependent. I don't know who thought that this would actually be a good idea, but all my muscle memory was basically gone. Also, because most of the coding was being done with the agent itself, I didn't even need 90% of the features of VS Code anymore. So all of this combined, and I basically realized I have a bloated and not ideal setup to work with this new way of coding. So I went back to the drawing board and started instead of a QE-based workflow that was meant for me, I started with the coding agent itself and tried to build my workflow around that. So the first thing that had to go was the default macOS terminal. I had been using it all my life, but first off, there are a lot of visual glitches. It doesn't support full color, it isn't easy to configure, there aren't a lot of nice themes, it isn't GPU accelerated, so it's pretty slow sometimes. So what I did was, and I also think that this is the best terminal emulator that you can install on macOS, and I installed Ghostty, which supports full color, is very fast, and has all the features I basically want. So let's actually launch a Ghostty window, and you can see, let's maybe make it a bit bigger. You see, this is instantly more beautiful. Not only does it easily support a lot of themes, it's also GPU accelerated. It has a lot of config options, and all the config is easily managed with a config file, which you can track with your with Git. So it's version controlled, easy to configure, a lot of keybinds you can set up, so everything I basically want. And as the CLI is basically becoming your home as a developer in 2026, your home needs to look nice because you want to actually enjoy working in it. The next thing I of course needed was actually a text editor, because even though the AI is doing most of the coding, I still want to do quick edits, and if the AI can solve something, I still need to jump in. I also sometimes still want to check what the AI has written and make some changes, or easily review the changes he made and make some Git commits. So there's only one logical choice. I was already enjoying the Vim key bindings. So what I did was, basically went for Neovim. And indeed, like the Primogen says, it's indeed as smooth as coconut oil. Because I'm still new to Neovim, I've been using it for 1 month now, but I've already customized it a bit. But I started with LazyVim, which I can very much recommend. It's basically a distro of Neovim, which comes with a lot of plugins installed, so you don't have to configure everything manually, and you can already get a view about what a good Neovim setup looks like. I've already installed some custom plugins, but the main changes, everything is controllable by your keyboard and it's in your terminal. And let me maybe go to a better repo. So let's maybe go to cd watch fish. Let me type it correctly. Watch fishing, for example, and you can see with just pressing, in my case, space, I can easily go between files. I can hide and come back with the Explorer. It has an LSP built in, so it can quickly show me errors. What do I also have set up? A lazy Git to easily review and push Git commits. I've also installed a diff view which allows me to review code changes. And it's actually much easier than I thought, because I thought like I need to remember all these keybinds, but actually when I press space, this handy menu comes up which easily shows me which keybinds exist. If you install a debugger, that's also supported with the DApp UI. So basically you have your LSP, you have your debugger, you have everything I basically needed from a code editor and nothing else. So Neovim is, I think, at the moment, the best code editor to combine with your agents. But actually, I would say Neovim isn't the most important aspect of my new setup, because there is one tool that's more important at the moment to me, and that is Tmux. And Tmux is basically a way to easily create multiple sessions with your agents at the same time, so that you don't have to create all these different windows that I was doing currently. So you don't have to create a new window for each Cloud Code instance you're running, or you also don't have to create all these separate tabs and then switch between them. No, Tmux makes it very easy to organize all your sessions and windows. So Tmux has two ways to do this. First off, you have these windows. So you see at the bottom, I am on window 1, but I press my Tmux prefix and then see I can easily spawn a lot of them. I can go between them by doing the prefix and then the number or some other keybinds. So what I can basically do, and also do with my current setup, is go, for example, in a repo, RPG logic, so launch Neovim in that, launch some other project in another window, and then easily switch between them. But it doesn't stop there with Tmux. So you first off, you have your windows. You can also easily rename them to your project, so you can remember what that project is working on. But then what I do within a window is you can also split panes, create multiple panes. And what a pane is, for example, if I press my Tmux prefix and then V, I split my window into two, so you can already guess it. And within this pane, I basically open my my favorite coding agent at the moment, OpenCode. So doing this, I can easily group my coding agent with the text editor, and I can easily, if the coding agent has changed something, I can easily jump into my code editor and check what it has done. But what makes this even more nice, because of course you don't always want to have both open, because sometimes the agent is just doing something and you don't need to view the code base. So what I can do is press Tmux and then Z, and voila, I only bring my OpenCode pane to the foreground. I can easily bring it to the background, bring this to the foreground. So you can already see this is so fluid and so much better than my previous setup. And it doesn't stop there, because let's say I also have a coding agent running on EC2 working on a different project, and so I basically need to SSH into it, but I don't want to mess with my current project I'm working on. So what I can basically do is start a new session, and so you can see my tabs have reset. I can rename this window, for example, EC2, and you can see what I've done is basically created a new session. So what you do is, first off, on the top level, you have this session concept, and within the session you have windows, and within those windows you can have panes. Of course, you can also rename the session to make it even more easy for you to view, but you can already see this is an insanely good way to parallelize stuff. You can even like detach from the Tmux, attach back into it again. This is insanely flexible. You can easily, it doesn't take much resources, so you can easily run 10 or more agents at the same time, while your PC, your fans and everything still work fine. While if you would do VS Code, this wouldn't work, and there would be so much friction that you would never want to use it. So because we are about a bit about coding now anyways, my favorite coding agent at the moment is OpenCode, simply because yeah, I like to use the GPT 5.3 models, and I also have these agents defined. For example, I have an ask agent which can't modify my code base. I also have some review agents which aren't in this directory, so I can't view it, but you can easily build custom agents with OpenCode. For certain tasks, however, mainly written tasks, or rather I need a lot of interaction, I still use Claude code, but yeah, like I said, just switching between them is basically trivial. And I think this has nothing to do with software, but a very important part of this workflow is actually working on a nice keyboard. And I bought this this Happy Hacking keyboard, and I simply can't recommend it enough. It doesn't have like the classic Sherry switches. It has stop-re switches, which are almost exclusive to this keyboard, and they are simply so nice. It's quite expensive, but I come from a $20 Chinese keyboard, which I hated to work on. I hated the placement of the buttons, but this keyboard, it just gives me these little dopamine hits when I press a key, which, if you go to a keyboard-driven workflow, you have to love typing on your keyboard, because you also always want to work on the same keyboard, as you want to build a lot of muscle memory for the different button combos. So if you would switch to this, I would also recommend investing in a good keyboard. So yeah, in short, this is my new my new setup. One of the most surprising things about this is it not only made me more efficient, but like I really enjoy creating software more, even editing text, or I look forward to actually working on my setup. This is one of the things with, I think, mostly attributed also to these Vim keybinds. It not only makes you more efficient, it also is a lot of fun. Like just being able to hit these little combos, like let's say I want to change everything between the parentheses, I can just do it with a single keyboard stroke. It just feels like, yeah, you're some kind of ninja cutting through your code base, doing all kinds of. You can easily, yeah, just it feels very good. You're hacking and slashing through your code base, doing all these little maneuvers. It's a bit hard to explain. I would say just install it for a few days, see if you like it or not. It's much easier than some make it out to be. Some people treat this like some kind of gatekeeping, but it's honestly not that hard. If you spend like a week on it, you probably have the basics down, and it only gets more fun from there. A little side effect from this is actually that yeah, you start seeing bloats everywhere, and you also like to edit text in Neovim so much that I just removed all my Obsidian and Notion. I'm basically doing all my notes in Markdown files. Like I do my little thoughts right here, and this was the script from my previous video. Like I just write in Markdown. I don't need all this bloat of Notion and Obsidian. I can easily switch between my notes and the projects. Yeah, I basically feel my workflow has become as smooth as butter, and I basically want to know, what are your thoughts on this? Are you also going back building your workflow around the terminal, or are you still finding a lot of benefit in working with VS Code? I hope you enjoyed the video. All these configs are in the description if you want to replicate some parts of it, and I see you in the next one.